Guys, it's 5:35. Please ignore my hair. I didn't have time to get it ready for the video because I'm gonna do that after I'm done eating. But I need to do a speed run. 4 eggs, 84 grams egg whites, spinach, bread, turkey bacon, cheese, and then a devious yogurt bowl. But it's 5:35. I have like 30 minutes to eat this and then start my oatmeal, which is heating up right now. And yeah, that's it. Then I have to go to work at 7 and then work to 11. And then if I make my own meal, which I will, I'll go to the gym after and then I'll come home and I'll probably sleep for the whole day. So I'll see y'all when I'm eating my oatmeal. Goodbye. Alright guys, it's oatmeal time and I need to eat this quick. So here's the macros for my whole breakfast and here is my oatmeal bowl. Goodbye. Alright guys, oh my gosh, I'm so freaking tired, but I have my second meal here and it actually looks insane. And it's pasta and chicken and spinach. But oh my gosh, monster plate. This meal is it's about to be 7. So, and I'm going to sleep early as heck tonight, so this is my last meal, and if I do have a meal after this, like with the 400-ish calories I have to spare, it's just gonna be another yogurt bowl. But after this, I need to read. I'm like low-key, like I need to like hurry up with my stuff for the day so I can be in bed on time. But after this, I'm gonna read, and then I'll make my video talking about what I read, and then after that, I'll probably make my yogurt bowl. And yeah, that'll be it. I might edit this video tonight. I probably will, hopefully, if I'm not a lazy bum. But yeah, I work tomorrow from 7 to 11. Freaking baby shifts, basically. But I think if I start doing the dishes, because nobody wants to do the dishes. So like today, I got scheduled till 11, but I stayed till 12:30 because I was doing dishes. So I feel like if it's like 10 or something and I start doing dishes, then I can leave like later and get more hours. But who knows? Maybe I'll just leave if I want to leave. But yeah, tomorrow is gonna be a breakfast of champions. So breakfast and oatmeal. But we'll get to that ship when it's sailing. I don't know if that's how the saying goes, but here's the macros for this ginormous meal, and I'm about to scarf it all down and then do what I said I'm gonna do. So goodbye. Okay guys, the reading is done. It's 7:55. Honestly, I don't think I'm gonna eat a yogurt bowl. I think after this I'm just gonna go shower and go straight to bed. But my parents ordered Chinese food, so they asked me if I wanted anything, and then I said that I would say yes if the place we were ordering from had the macros on their website, but then they didn't. But then I got chicken fried rice anyways, so I'll probably eat that tomorrow or the day after, or who knows when. But anyways, I ended up reading, because I skimmed over chapter 27. I just read the main titles, and yeah, so it's the building of chapter 27 is the building of the altar for burnt offerings, and then the court of the tabernacle, and then the oil for the lamps. So those are just instructions on that. But then 28 is where it kind of changes up, and now it's kind of it starts with the priestly vestments. So I'm pretty sure that just means the clothing for the priests, and the Lord basically establishes Aaron and his sons as the first priests, the first members of the priesthood for their new church, essentially. And so it's instructions of what it says the ephod, which is it said it's kind of unknown, but it's essentially just here. Let me read what it says. It says the ephod is retained in the translation because it is the technical term for a peculiar piece of the priestly vestments, the exact nature of which is uncertain. It seems to have been a sort of apron that hung from the shoulders of the priest by shoulder straps and was tied around his waist by the loose ends of the attached belt. So yeah, the ephod and the breastpiece, and it's instructions of how they should be made, what they should be made with. One of them or like on it, it says, I think for the breast piece, it says the breast piece of decision you shall also have made embroidered like the ephod with gold thread and violet, purple, and scarlet yarn on cloth of fine linen twined. It is to be square when folded double, a span high and a span wide. On it you shall mount 4 rows of precious stones. In the first row, a carnelian, a topaz, and an emerald. In the second row, a garnet, a sapphire, and a beryl. In the third row, a jacinth, an agate, and an amethyst. In the fourth row, a chrysolite, an onyx, and a jasper. These stones are to be mounted in gold filigree work, 12 of them to match the names of the sons of Israel, each stone engraved like a seal with the name of one of the 12 tribes. And yeah, most of this stuff is like made out of gold and like, really nice threads essentially. And then after the ephod and the breast piece, it's like other vestments. Ignore my dog. I think first is like a robe, it talks about, and then like a plate of pure gold that has an engraving or like a sealed engraving that says sacred to the Lord. And it says this plate is to be tied over the turban with a violet ribbon in such a way that it rests on the front of the turban. He's probably He's probably barking at the delivery man or whatever. And then yeah, it just basically said that Aaron and his sons shall wear them whenever they go into the tent of meeting or approach the altar to minister in the sanctuary, lest they incur guilt and die. This shall be a perpetual ordinance for him and his descendants. And then right here, before this, it says you must also make linen pants for them to cover their naked flesh from their loins to their thighs. So basically, it's just how their fit is being created and how it's meant to be designed. So after that, those are like the outfits that the priests would wear. So Aaron and his sons being the priests. And then chapter 29 is the consecration of the priests, which is like the performing rites, like what they have to do to essentially, become said priests. And yeah, it just, what does this really talk about? It says procure a young bull and 2 unblemished rams. And it's essentially just that's like what they're getting. And then it talks about the installation sacrifices, so how they're sacrificing these animals and like how they're meant to sacrifice them. They all kind of go in like a similar fashion. So it says, basically once it says, now bring forward the bull in front of the tent of meeting. There Aaron and his sons shall lay their hands on its head. And then, so after they lay their hands on like the animal's head, it's when they slaughter it. And then they take its blood. It says, slaughter the bull before the Lord at the entrance of the tent of meeting. Take some of its blood with your finger, put it on the horns of the altar. All the rest of the blood you shall pour out at the base of the altar. And then it goes over like what specific parts that they need to like burn or like, burn on the altar, and what other parts that they need to like make sure are not burned on the altar, like they need to be burned outside the camp. So it says, all the fat that covers its inner organs, as well as the lobe of its liver and its 2 kidneys, together with the fat that is on them, you shall take and burn on the altar. But the meat and hide and dung of the beetle, so dung is like poop, you must burn up outside the camp, since this is a purification offering. So after the bull, then it says, take the ram. Once Aaron and his sons have laid their hands on its head, slaughter it. The blood you shall take and splash on all sides of the altar. Cut the ram into pieces. You shall wash its inner organs and shanks and put them with the pieces and with the head. Then you shall burn the entire ram on the altar, since it is a burnt offering, a sweet-smelling oblation to the Lord. After this, take the other ram, and when Aaron and his sons have laid their hands on its head, slaughter it. Some of its blood you shall take and put it on the tip of Aaron's right ear, and on the tips of his sons' right ears, and on the thumbs of their right hands, and the great toes of their right feet, so their big toes, I'm assuming. Splash the rest of the blood on all sides of the altar. Then take some of the blood that is on the altar, together with some of the anointing oil, and sprinkle this on Aaron and his vestments, so his clothing, as well as on his sons and their vestments, that he and his sons and their vestments may be sacred. So, now from this ram you shall take its fat, its fatty tail, the fat that covers its inner organ, the lobe of its liver, its 2 kidneys, with the fat that is on him and its right thigh, since this is a ram for installation. Then out of the basket of unleavened food that you have set before the Lord, you shall take one of the loaves of bread, one of the cakes made with oil, and one of the wafers. All these things you shall put into the hands of Aaron and his sons, so that they may raise them as an elevated offering before the Lord. After you receive them back from their hands, you shall burn them at the top. You shall burn them on top of the burnt offering on the altar as a sweet-smelling oblation to the Lord. Finally, take the brisket of Aaron's installation ram and raise it as an elevated offering before the Lord. This is to be your own portion. So I guess that's like the portion that they get to eat. Thus shall you set aside the brisket of whatever elevated offering is raised, as well as the thigh of whatever contribution is raised up, whether this be the installation ram or anything else belonging to Aaron or to his sons. Such things are due to Aaron and his sons from the Israelites by a perpetual statute as a contribution from their communion offerings to the Israelites shall make their contribution to the Lord. And then, so yeah, basically, where does it say? And then it says, at the entrance of the tent meeting, Aaron and his sons shall eat the meat of the ram and the bread that is in the basket. They themselves are to eat these things by which atonement was made at their installation and consecration, but no unauthorized person may eat of them, since they are sacred. If some of the meat of installation sacrifice or some of the bread remains over on the next day, this remnant you must burn up. It is not to be eaten, since it is sacred. It says, carry out all these commands in regard to Aaron and his sons, just as I have given them to you. 7 days you shall spend installing them, sacrificing a bull each day as a purification offering to make atonement. Thus you shall purify the altar by purging it, and you shall anoint it in order to consecrate it. And then it says, 7 days you shall spend in purging the altar and in consecrating it. Then the altar will be most sacred, and whatever touches it will become sacred. So they're basically, doing this ritual to make this altar sacred, so that they can make whatever touches the altar sacred as well. And it says, now this is what you shall regularly offer on the altar: 2 yearling lambs, so 1-year-old lambs, as the sacrifice established for each day. 1 lamb in the morning, and the other lamb at the evening twilight. With the first lamb there shall be 1/10 of an ephah of bran flour, mixed with a fourth of a hin of oil of crushed olives as its libation, 1/4 of a hin of wine. I don't know what a hin is. I'll put it up. The other lamb you shall offer at the evening twilight with the same grain offering and libation as in the morning. You shall offer this as a sweet-smelling oblation to the Lord. And then, here, I'll just read these last parts. Throughout your generations, this regular burnt offering shall be made before the Lord at the entrance of the tent of meeting, where I will meet you and speak to you. There at the altar I will meet the Israelites, hence it will be made sacred by my glory. Thus I will consecrate the tent of meeting and the altar, just as I also consecrate Aaron and his sons to be my priests. I will dwell in the midst of the Israelites and will be their God. They shall know that I, the Lord, am their God, who brought them out of the land of Egypt, so that I, the Lord their God, might dwell among them. Oh my gosh, that scared the shit out of me. I just got an Amber Alert. Oh my gosh, that scared the shit out of me. I'm turning on my light, bro. Fuck this. Oh my gosh. Bro, that actually scared the shit out of me. Anyways, so I kind of did some mining off cam, and I skipped a few chapters ahead to see the titles, and I was right about the Israelites being up to no good. So L Israelites in the coming chapters, but yeah, basically more instructional chapters, if you will. But this one was like a little more interesting because it was less about constructing something and more of like how I guess Aaron and his sons were to be welcomed, officially put into the priesthood. I'm like looking for a word, but I can't think of it. But yeah, I'm interested to I forget what happens. I just remember the Israelites are up to no good, but I forget what happens after that. So yeah, I'm interested to see that when it happens. But yeah, that is what I read today. So I'm so tired. I'm going to maybe edit my video a little bit. Maybe I'll post it tomorrow, but I also have a lot of homework. Not really. I have a test due Sunday, and some like assignment for biology due Monday. But you know what, I'll get to that when I get to it. But yeah, I think that's it for today. So here's the macros for the whole day. They might be a little under, but that's okay. Anyways, if you're watching this, thank you very much. Like if you want, subscribe if you want, comment if you want. And I will see y'all tomorrow for day 34? I don't know. But also, something I forgot to mention at the beginning of this video is that I was 156.4 pounds this morning. So it's 1.4 pounds heavier than I was on day 32. So yeah, now that's officially it, and it is day 34 tomorrow. So I will see you then. Goodbye.